Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Testing Many Bytes. I am your friend Amudan Shaktivel. In this video, we will see how we can send the documents to Elasticsearch using Java. Again, guys, you can use any other programming language as well. Maybe you need to use a different library. That's the only change. But apart from that, the ELK remains the same. Good. Now we'll also see. In this video, we will see a quick way to how we can create a markdown for our Kibana dashboard. This I have missed to add in the previous section, so we'll try to do this as a first part. Then we'll also learn what is a REST assured library, how it can help us to send the data, post the data to the Elasticsearch, and we'll also learn about how we can go, how we going to construct the hash map for the JSON, and then how we gonna do that. And we'll also see what are the changes that we make, how to make for our existing framework, and we'll also do a dry run to check whether everything is working fine or not. Then we'll also see about how we can share the Kibana URL to our clients or managers or whomever you want, so that they can also view the dashboard, right? So that's the ultimate aim. We want to share it with the people who want to see how the test execution is behaving at the real time. Good. We'll also see how we can create a config switch in our framework, so that if you wish you want to send the data to ELK, you do that. And if you are doing some development or something, you don't want to send the data to the ELK, then you can switch it off, right? So all these things we'll see about that in detail in this particular video. So without wasting much time, let's get into the first one, right? So let's go to the first part of a real-time dashboard that you have created. Okay, and here maybe I can go to the visualization. Okay, and you can just choose the visualization called okay, click on here, create a new visualization called markdown. Okay, and then you can type your uh, title, whatever the title that you want to give. So here you can give Selenium real-time dashboard, something like this. And then in the options, you can also change the font size. Okay, once you click on update, it will show you here, right? So already I have done this creation, so I just need to add it in my dashboard. So it's very simple. You can do that. Okay, so I just want to click on edit this particular dashboard. I want to add a new visualization that I already created. I have named it as title. Okay, just choose this and close this. Okay, now you can edit this, okay, to fit wherever you want to fit this thing. Okay, maybe I'll keep it here. Okay, you can adjust like the way you want. Suppose you wanted this to be central aligned, you can also do that. Suppose you don't want to see this color combination, then you can click on this, it'll go away. Same here, and everything looks fine. Maybe the alignment here a little bit, yeah, you can do that by on your side. Good. Now we have done with the first part. Next, we will understand how we can use the REST assured library. For that, let me go to the Eclipse workspace. I have created a package called com.elk, and I have created a class called send results to elk, and I have a main method. So to work with you want to send a request to your Elasticsearch, right? So to do this purpose, we need a external library, Java library called io.rest assured. I'm using the version 4.3.3. I recommend using at least the version greater than 4 as of today. And by the time you're watching this video, maybe the higher version you can try. You can also use Unirest or HTTP client, whatever you feel comfortable with. There is no restriction about that. Good. Now after I do this added this dependency, the the class library is available for me to use. To do that, I need to do the static import, because it has a method, static methods. I need to do a static import to use them. Otherwise, you have to import a big class name, right? So if you are not sure what is a static import, let me quickly explain with the help of a simple example. Okay, I create a class with main method, that is a, and I also create a class with name B, and it has a it doesn't have a main method. It has a static method, public static void add, something like that, and it does something. So adding, and yeah, so this is a very simple thing. So there is a class B with static method a add, and there is a class called a. I want to access this B uh, method add from B class. Then how can I do that? Class name dot the method name. So this is how we normally call the static methods from other class, right? So if you don't want to do this, okay, then you can also do a static import of this particular class in a class. So that's what I'm going to do now. So you have to do import static, okay, and what are the package name that B class is present? It is present in com.elk. So you can type com.elk dot and class name is b dot add. Once you do this, okay, you don't have to mention, b dot add. You can just simply mention add. Okay, so it can understand this add is coming from your this particular package and this particular class file. So if the package name is very big, so if you put the whole thing here, it will be a little clumsy. That's why people normally use static imports if they are using static methods. Again, guys, this has nothing to do with whatever I want to cover, but still I just want to cover. Good. Let me go to the Elastic, this particular class file, and to use this, right? Like I told, I need to do static import. Okay, so this coming from import. There is a IO package. Inside that there is something called as rest assured, and inside that there is another rest assured class. The class name is rest assured, and there is a method called given. Okay, okay, maybe it's maybe my bad. I need to do a static import, and it's given. Good. Once you do this, okay, you can directly call this method. Okay, given dot, and it's very simple, guys. Now I want to post a. This is the one that we posted so far. This is a JSON file, right? So if I want to post this, okay, I need to tell this is JSON, so I can add it in the header. Okay, what is the key? Key I can tell content type. Okay, I just telling I'm gonna send a application JSON here. Okay, this is very simple. Once you do this, okay, you can write it in the same line, or you can write it in the next line. Okay, so that it's more readable. Okay, and then I need to add a body. Okay, I need to send this particular JSON, right? I need to send this particular JSON. Okay, guys, so here this is main data, this is main data, and this is the main data. So I don't need these two. Okay, if you want, you can also add that, but for my case, I'm not doing these two things. If you want, you can do that. Okay, so let me prepare a hash map. Okay, so because there is a method called body, okay, I need to put it in the body. So it accepts a string. Okay, sending them in a form of string, okay, it will not give me enough control. So there is object. In the previous versions of REST Assured, you have hash map option here, the map option, but now they have just named it as object so that you can use it for anything. So that's what. So what you can do, you can create a map, okay, to store all the values. Okay, let me name it as map equal to new hash map. Okay, and then hash map. Okay, put, and control shift and o, you input all these things, okay, from java.util. Once you do this, okay, you can add all the values that you want to add. So I want to add my test name. Okay, this is my test name, and the value is, suppose say it's test one, something like this. Okay, this is just an example, guys. We will integrate with the framework. Okay, maybe I'll also copy these things. Okay, and I'll put it in map.push. Okay, so instead of hard coding the time like this, what I can use, I need the current time, right? So I can use dot local date and time that is coming from your java.time package dot now. Okay, toString. I want this in a string format, so I'm using toString. So everything. So what are the values that I want to send in the JSON file? Okay, I want to send this particular JSON file as a document to the Elasticsearch. Now I am constructing with the help of Java code. So this is the key, this is the value, this is the key and value. Everything is ready. So once you got this ready, you can just pass this here. Okay, you can just pass this map. Okay, that's it. Once you do this, you need to send it to one particular URL, right? So you want to post, right? So you want to hit in this particular URL, right? So control A, control copy that and paste it here. That's it, guys. So once you do this, okay, everything is done. Okay, if you want to see whatever the values that you are sending, then you can also do logging. Okay, there is a method called log, and I want to log all of them. Okay, good. So you can do some alignments. Yeah, right. So it's better readable now. Okay, everything is set. Now I just click on run this Java application. You should see, okay, a value being sent to Elasticsearch. Let me go to the Elasticsearch. Okay, dashboard, and there is a small time difference between my local and the Kibana dashboard. So what I have to do, I'm just choosing next to one next to 24 hours. Okay, so the pass count is 3 and fail is 1 because I have done some dry run before this making this video. So Okay. Now, if I have to inject another time, so maybe I'll run it again. Okay, so that the value getting updated. Maybe this time I'll tell it as a fail. Okay, and try to click on right. Now it should get updated. Okay, let's refresh this. Once the test is done, it'll get updated to fail 2. Which maybe something wrong. Okay, I think it got ran. Yeah, now the fail count is getting updated. So this is what is happening. Everything is happening with the help of Java code. Again, guys, you can also validate your what is the response code that is coming. So this is a request that we sent. Okay, if you want to see your response, you can also store it in response object. Okay, response. Okay, it's gonna give you response. This response is coming from your rest assured package. Okay, just choose io.rest-assured.response. You can also do a response pretty print. Okay, this will print the whatever the response that you got. Suppose if I hit this particular in, you know, now it is producing you the response right back. The same thing will be displayed in the console, right? So if you want to do that, you can also do this. If you want to validate, if you can also do response dot status code. Okay, this will give you the status code and I can do the assertion. Okay, maybe assert dot assert equals. Okay, and this is the assertion that I want to do. This is the actual one that I got, and the expected one is 201 because you're doing a post. Okay, this is what you got, right? So this is the expected 201 created. So that's what I'm doing. So you can do also do this. If there is some failure, you can also mark there is some problem while posting to Gibbon or Elasticsearch. Good, you can do all these things, guys. But now let's see how we can integrate this with our framework. That's very important, right? We have created as a standalone project. Now we need to do integration with our Selenium automation project. So this is our Selenium automation project that we are working so far. And to do this, I actually wanted to send this data whenever a test is getting passed or failed or skipped, right? So at the end of each test case, I need to send a value to Elasticsearch. So to do this, we have already a listener class that can do this purpose for us. Okay, this listener class has some methods like on test start, on test success, on test failure, on test skipped. Okay, so this is almost what we want, right? So this I just need to change or tweak a little bit to cater my needs. Okay, let's me also open this. Okay, whatever I have. Okay, whatever the code that we have created here, let me create it in this particular utils class. This can be clubbed in a util class. So let me go here, create a new class. Okay, called as elk utils. Maybe once you do this, okay, I can create a method here. Okay, as I already told, private constructor, just to avoid external initialization, because I will not be creating any um, non-static methods here. So maybe I create another static methods, public static void method, send details to Elasticsearch or elk. Okay, how you feel, you can do that. Once you do this, okay, you can copy the same code there. Okay, whatever the code that we have written in a separate project, we copy it and put it here. Everything is absolutely working fine. Again, guys, I'm using a map here. This is the easiest way. If you want to construct a pojos, you can do that. You can also pass it as a form of string. You can pass it as a form of file. There are multiple ways you can construct this body, but here very simple JSON. So I used hash map because it's you don't have to import any other library, right? So good. Now this is done. Now I need to call this. Okay, so if you notice, this test is dynamic and this is dynamic. So this can be hard coded because every time they call this, the time will get updated. So I need to find the values for these two things, right? So that's an important goal for us. So it needs two things. One is string test name and string status. So we want these two, details from our listener class. Good. Now let me go there. Okay. Maybe I will replace this with test name and this with status. It's all good. Now this is set, but I just need to pass this dynamically. Good. Let me go to the listener class. Okay. whenever a test is getting passed, okay, whenever a test is getting passed, I need to send a message to my ELK that it is getting passed, right? So I can use ELK utils dot send details to ELK. What is the test name? Okay, you can pass a test name or test description based on your requirements. Result dot uh, get method dot get description, maybe. Yeah. So this will give you a test case description. If you want a test case name, you can also do that. Get name. And what is the status? If this method is getting called by testng, it is basically pass. Okay, then I can pass tell pass. Okay, the same thing. Okay, on test failure, whenever a test is getting failed, I just need to update this to fail. Okay, whenever a test is getting skipped, okay, I need to update this to skip. Good. That's it, guys. That's the only change we need to do. So this will be calling this, and every time the request will be constructed, it will be posted to this particular endpoint. Everything looks fine. Okay, let me try to check what are the test case that we are going to run. So SRC test resources. I have Excel sheet. I just need to do some operations so that I can post some test case as a pass, fail, and skip. So I need to do that change, right? So I think there are some test cases, Amazon test. There are three combinations. Okay, maybe what I can do, Amazon test. Okay, by default, I think everything will be passed. I will also do this. Yes. Okay. Login, logout test. Okay. So if you notice, I want to run new test, login, logout test, and three iterations of Amazon test. Let the Amazon test get passed. So there will be three pass count. Login, logout test gets failed. So let me do some failure for this login, logout test. So this is the login, logout test. So let me try to change this to 1, 2, 3 so that the assertion gets failed. And for the new test, I just want that to be skipped. So maybe I can throw new skip exception. So I'm just voluntarily making this to fail. Sorry, skip. Okay, and some skip. Okay, and you can do Control Shift and O. The packages will be imported, and again you can just comment this out. Good, guys. So we have made all the changes. All the tests will be running. Okay, good. And let me save this whole thing. Now let's try to run this. Okay, and then see whether everything is working fine or not. As of now, the test will be ran on my local. Okay, that's fine. But for us, the test, let me switch on this automatic refresh. Okay, so the dashboard will get updated automatically, right? So let's wait for the test to start, execute. Okay, I think it is running in remote mode. Just a minute. Yeah, the test got failed. Okay, let me just go here, and I have a Docker Compose file. Okay, let me go to this particular location. Because the run mode is remote, I haven't started my Docker containers for Selenium to run. Okay, so let me go there and open a command prompt. Okay, if you go to this particular location and then type docker hyphen compose up. Once you do this, okay, you should have your Docker containers Selenium grid up and running. Okay, so let's wait for a few seconds for this to up and running. Now this is ready to be used. So if I hit this localhost 4444, it is having browsers as well as my Firefox driver and two Chrome browsers. Okay, let's see how the test is getting executed or not. Okay, let's try to run this whole thing. Okay, run as testng suite. Good. Okay, we cannot see the execution, guys. It's all running in the Docker containers. Okay, that's absolutely fine. But all we are interested is to see a update in this particular dashboard. Yeah, that's what we want. Maybe you can see whether it is getting picked up or not. Yeah, Chrome is getting picked. Okay, good. Since I haven't done the parallel execution, enable the parallel execution, everything is running in sequential. That's my bad. Okay, but still we are interested in seeing the pass fail count getting updated. Okay, it will get automatically refreshed, guys. So if you enable this automatic refresh, it'll get updated automatically. So if you notice, the first one got failed, so 3 fail count got increased by 1. Good. So let's wait for the whole thing to execute, right? So if you feel the video a little slow, please change the playback settings to 1.5 or 2, guys. So it will definitely take time to explain all these things. Okay, I don't want to give you a half cooked lecture and all. So yeah, please be patient, right? So in the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Okay, so that it motivates me to create more videos like this, right? So if you notice, the pass count is getting updated. Okay, so that's what in real time it is getting updated. If you show this to your client or someone, it'll be very useful for them to see how this whole thing works, right? So really cool. And if you want to share this dashboard to your client, okay, just click on the share option. You have an option for the permanent links. Just go here, and there is an option for the short URL. If you don't give the short URL, if they use Internet Explorer to view that Kibana dashboard, it might not work. So just copy this link after enabling the short URL. Okay, once you copy this, okay, you can also go here and then okay, paste it here. Okay, maybe I will paste it here. Okay, so it'll again load you the same dashboard for them, right? So they can also view the execution without any hindrances. Good. This is what the pass count is now 5 and the failed count is now 4, right? So it is getting updated automatically. So everything is working absolutely fine, guys. So right, so I think the test that we are trying to run, that is not executed. Okay, that's fine. But what we are interested is to see these things, right? So it is getting updated at the real time. So that's all I have to share for today. Let me check if I am missing anything. Okay, we have done this. We have done this. We'll also see how we can create a config switch. Okay, suppose if you're doing some development, you don't want to send the results to ELK. That's not needed, right? That's unneeded data. So I don't want to do that all the time. So in that case, what I can do, you can go to your configure properties. If you are watching from the beginning, you know how to do this. Okay, let me create send results to ELK. Okay, uh, okay. Send result to ELK is yes. Okay, good. Once if it is yes, then only I want to send. In our case, we have a enum for this. Okay, go to this particular thing and you can use send results to ELK. Okay, once again I will check the spelling. Okay, results, yeah, this is result. Okay, good. Once you do this, go to the particular class file. Okay, here what I can do, I can only do all these things. Okay, property utils dot sketch. Sorry, the property utils needs to come from my. Okay, just a minute. Sorry guys, it has to be ELK utils. This is what the framework code, right? So here I am going and doing ELK utils dot sorry, property utils dot get. And what is the config? Yeah, config properties dot um, send results to ELK. Okay, if this is equals ignore case. Okay, yes. If it is equals ignores to yes, then only I want to do all these things. Okay, wrap them in a if condition. Okay, and all done. Control A, Control I. Okay, now we can simply enable this on or off from this particular switch in the config.properties. If you're doing some development and stuff, change this to no, so that result will not be sent to ELK. So guys, I think we have covered everything that I want to cover. I'll all see you in another great video. Until then, tata, bye bye from Amudan.